My name is Jesus Coronel, a SoCal-based commentator for the Pokemon Video Game Championships in my local scene, and I competed in the 2025 Pokemon Video Game Championship season in an attempt to qualify for the 2025 Pokemon World Championships in my backyard in Anaheim, California. But this is a daunting task, as this season, instead of qualifying by surpassing a championship point total set in the season, players have to be at a specific standing in their region to qualify for the World Championship. In my region of North America, trainers have to finish either in the top 75 of the standings to earn their invite, finish in the top 4 at an international championship, or win a regional championship. This would be my 8th year playing Pokemon competitively since I started playing in 2017, during the Sun and Moon era, which ironically was the last time the World Championships was hosted in Anaheim, where Japan's Ryota Otsubo won it all during that season. In the years that have passed, numerous champions have been crowned on the world stage, and many of these same trainers will do their best to reach the World Championships and qualify through the free means mentioned earlier. But we aren't talking about the big name trainers in this video. However, I will wish all these people good luck in their journey to qualify. So with everything being said, here is my journey in an attempt to qualify for the World Championships. The new season started in July 2024, with events starting in my local venues, Top Deck Keep at Riverside, California, and at Psychocerta Place at Pico Rivera, California, which will be the in-person venues that will be spoken throughout this video. The first tournament I competed would be under the Regulation G rule set, which allowed for one restricted Pokemon per team. The first tournament I competed in would be a Top Deck Keep, where Elite Cup would be hosted during the weekend of the 2024 World Championships in Hawaii. But for the people competing at the Cup, this would be an opportunity to start the 2025 season with good points awards, 50 of them for first place. The team I would be piloting for the tail end of the regulation, since it will be rotating out at the end of August, was the following. Kyogre, the centerpiece of my restricted format usage, with its powerful water spouts in the rain thanks to its Drizzle ability, paired with Tornadus and Landorus Incarnate, both with great synergies with Kyogre thanks to both Weak Wind and Sandsear Storm having perfect accuracy in the rain, tail and support from Tornadus, and high damage values from Landorus against things like Miraidon and Raging Bolt. For Rigorath for priority protection thanks to his Armor Tail ability and the means he could use Imprison Triggering to lock out any means of slowing the team down, Urshifu for Rapid Strike to abuse his powerful Searching Strikes in the rain, and finally Ogerpon Hard Flame. Ogerpon provided important follow-me support, as well as its high damage value with Woodhammer and Ivy Cudgel. Yes, even in the rain, it was doing the best damage with that Fire Stick. In the tournament, I managed to squeeze to the top cup with the 2-2 record after Swiss rounds, which allowed me to play into a rematch against fellow SoCal commentator and good friend, Arnie Wolf. I had lost the first battle in the Swiss rounds, but I did get the run back to defeat him in the semifinals, which advanced me to the grand finals, my first one since 2020. In another rematch, this time against Brian Kim, I fell just short of tasting championship glory as I fell in a tightly contested 2-1 loss, finishing in second place. I was heartbroken, but there was still a lot to be happy about, as the finish was good enough for me to earn 40 points to start out the 2025 season. I would play a Psycho Turtle at the end of August, but unfortunately bubbled out of Top Cut contention with the exact same team from Top Deck Keep, finishing at a 3-2 record. September brought about new rules for the rest of 2024, Regulation H, a format that did not allow the use of any legendary Pokemon or Paradox Pokemon, bringing the power level of the format much lower than in previous years where the format gets more powerful over time. This would be the first time we'd be going backwards in power in this season, and the rush for people to get their championship points hadn't something set in for me. Because I mostly couldn't travel out of my region, I would more likely have to forego my attempts to go qualify for the World Championships. However, as a commentator, I decided to spend a lot of that time perfecting my craft on the mic, so in the meantime, I still had a team I wanted to make with the power ceiling lowered, centering on one of my favorite Pokemon from recent years, Cinderace. This fire starter from Galar emanated who I was as a person. A sporty, flashy, offensive style player that loved to go aggressive from the moment the game started. Cinderace was my main piece of my tournament-winning team back in Series 4 Sword and Shield format, just when the Libero ability was introduced, but things have changed vastly since that win. Libero, since then, has been nerfed to only work the first time it changes to a different type, as well as Terrestrialization being the main mechanic of Starter and Violet, reducing its capabilities it had while it could Gigantamax. But that wouldn't stop me from using the set I used to win that tournament into the new format. Choice Man Cinderace is one of my favorite sets overall. It offers a lot of great offensive potential, giving it much more power to further amplify its hit and run playstyle with powerful Pyro Ball, U-Turn to swap it out, High Jump Kick, and Gunk Shot. 3 of those moves can miss, but that was the risk I took back then, and it's the same risk I took now. The partners to support it were Whimsicott, who could use his Strength Table to double my team's speed, Golden Go for its powerful Choice Specs Terra Steel boosted Make It Rain, Blood Moon Ursaluna with the ability to shut through opposing Ghost types or any pesky Muxkiro strategies, Rigorath for priority blocking, and Primarina, a reliable special water type attacker with access to Moonblast and Liquid Voice Change Hyper Voice, which became a water type attack thanks to its ability. While I didn't impress with it in person, the ongoing Grand Challenge tournament would be where the team shined. With the sheer power this team had at its disposal, it caught a lot of my opponents off guard and got me good enough wins to secure a decently high spot. After the Grand Challenge had ended, my result would be good enough to earn 20 more points. The highest ascenders was soon to be short-lived once the meta had evolved to center around Sneasler, a very powerful poison and fighting type Pokemon that can burst damage with close combat, infuriate opponents with Direct Claw, and has the potential to outspeed every Pokemon under the sun thanks to Unburden. That led to me having to drop the Cinderace team rather quickly, to my disappointment. Thankfully, my good friends Josh and William helped compose a team to tackle the meta evolution, largely in fact due to Josh's love of using Jump Bluff. Jump Bluff's a Pokemon that has never really been good to use up until Scarlet and Violet. Having access to Chlorophyll helped boost its utility this generation, which is especially true when Joe UX9 won the Portland Regional Championships back in 2023. Fast Tailwind, Encore, and Sleep Powder carried its utility in Sun teams to the next level, even taking Lilligant's job because of this. The team we came up with was Dorkle Jump Bluff as the main Sun enablers for the team, Hisuian Typhlosion, who uses powerful eruptions in the sun to wipe out its targets, and the rest of the team was rounded up by solid, strong Pokemon, Garchomp, Dragonite, and Kingambit. Josh was able to pilot the team to a second place finish at a Top Deck Keep September League challenge, while I was able to use the team on stream at Psycho Turtle, but I failed to top cut again with another 3-2 finish. But I was able to get championship points from the October Grand Challenge online tournament, netting in another 20 points. I would spend the rest of the regulation on the commentary desk because I wanted to continue doing what I love and provide to the SoCal community. And the news we would get at the end of the season would be that we would be returning to Regulation G to start the 2025 calendar year, which I needed to be ready for. The second go-around for Regulation G was not predicted to make a return, but we had to play with one restricted per team once again, as well as the return of normal legendary Pokemon as well as the Paradox Pokemon. I wanted to continue playing the Kyogre Ogerpon team from the last time we played Regulation G, but I decided to take a little detour and use Luca Cherubelli's Lower Championship winning team from the previous season featuring Miraidon. That little detour was a breath of fresh air in terms of using something I've not been accustomed to using for some time. And although I had no footage with the team, outside this one clip I recorded with Ogerpon surviving at 1 HP, this team did net me another 20 points for the January Global Challenge. This would also be the first time I would ever hit triple digits for any VGC season in terms of championship points. That would be the end of a good streak, as in the coming weeks, I would not be anywhere happy with the results I had with my Kyogre and Ogerpon team, only finishing 1-3 at a recent January Psycho Turtle Challenge. And since the weeks that came around, the team I ran was getting really exploited for its massive weakness of being Miraidon weak, and I've mostly struggled in the latter half of January, where I really didn't like my chances of doing well, to the point of almost giving up on the season, especially since I am more likely not to make it to World Championships. I felt like I was at my lowest point in the 2025 season with almost nowhere to return to or look up for. I often scroll online to keep up with what has been popular in the metagame for every regulation we are playing, and seeing what is good and what isn't. Recently, Justin and Shiliang Tang both got first and second at the San Antonio Regional Championships with the exact same Calyrex Ice Rider team, and that became the most popular team for the coming months. Resources such as Lapmouse and Victory Road are helpful to see what the metagame has developed to in the months of the format being played, or if there are any signs of anything new that could pop up and be successful with. While in my phase of desperate searching, I scrolled along to Liberty Note, a popular Japanese website where the best teams for the in-game ranked ladder are posted on their website, and a team was posted at the January season had ended. One with Kyogre as a center point, but it had various picks that were never really considered to be good to most people. The creator of the team, Mawaru Yo World, on Twitter, posted it after finishing 6th place in the January rank season. Kyogre, the centerpiece of a team with choice specs, and Terra Water to boost its damage to Tsunami levels, Roaring Moon to provide Tailwind support and pressure Pokemon such as Calyrex Shadow Rider and Grass types with double power acrobatics, Landers to pressure electric types, Indeedee with Fake Out? Synchronize? Bruxish? Sizzler? What is this? Okay, all jokes aside, let's break these 3 Pokemon down. Indeedee with both Fake Out and Follow Me support to protect and keep Kyogre around, as well as boost its damage with Helping Hand and heal it with Heal Pulse. Sizzler, as it has very good matchups to both Rillaboom and Calyrex Ice Rider with Bug and Steel type attacks, Choice Band, Technician, Bullet Punch, and Bug Bite, and Bruxish, which ended up being an indirect star to the team with access to priority blocking with his Dazzling ability, alongside a toolkit of Super Fang to cut a target's HP in half, Psychic Fangs to break screens, Taunt for the Wide Guard users, and Aqua Jet for priority. I was very skeptical of the team when I first saw it, and thus decided to do what any normal person would do: test the team for myself. The results? Far beyond what I expected. The team clicked together with synergy supporting Choice Specs Kyogre, as Roaring Moon and Bruxish help facilitate its game plan of using super powerful water spouts, having the tools to deal with Calyrex Shadow and Ice, Salazenta, and Koraidon to name off a few. After testing it for about a week, I decided to take it to Psycho Turtle for the League Challenge in February. The results? Well, how do I explain?
Damage layered on. See how much this does now. That is a one-hit KO. Tailwind was down, but with Tailwind down, I'm gonna see the Water Spout. Can Calyrex possibly take this? I'm gonna guess no. Yeah, no, it certainly is not going to. Water Spout will probably still KO the Incineroar, yeah. If we're being perfectly honest.
I think at this point, Jesus is in the absolute best possible position.
Yeah.
After falling into semifinals to Thomas, I finished in 4th place with a 4-1 Swiss record, earning another 10 points on my season, increasing my total to 110. With a team mostly labeled as the best one gimmick. I knew I had liked the team, but never in my thoughts that this team would be one that would click with my playstyle overall. Earlier in the month, Pokemon announced that trainers that earned 200 or more championship points would be given the rank of Ace Trainer and would receive a promotional card as an award. With my newfound confidence, I knew what I wanted to do for the rest of the season. Become an Ace Trainer. The next event in my sights was the February Global Challenge, and now that I know about the potential of the Kyogre team, I set my sights on the top spots. However, an issue that was now apparent is the best finish limit system, otherwise known as BFL, where you only earn a certain amount of points per event. In the case of the Global Challenge, your best 3 finishes count, and any lower finish results in a loss of points. My BFL is a system where 20 points earned 3 times. If I was to aim for the top spots, I would need to take into account that I'd be losing 20 of those points to the BFL system. The GC starts, and I already dug myself into the hole, starting 0-2, losing faith in myself in the process. Then suddenly, as the light bulb switched on, I went on a strong winning streak, eventually finishing the February Global Challenge with a 15-4 record, which is good enough to place in the top 256 points echelon. That would earn me 50 points, but because of the BFLs, I'd only add 30 to my season total. March would be a pretty forgettable month as the Global Challenge that ensued. I went away from the Bruxus variant of Kyogre and did not do well in the battles that ensued, so I remained at 140 points. April would have to mostly be where my results would count, as the next ensuing format will leave a lot of unknowns for what is ahead, with the final Global Challenge and Elite Cup coming up. Indeedee was not pulling its weight in his team. In Mawayo World's team port, Indeedee was primarily used to catch Miraidon off guard with a fake out, then follow me attacks away from Kyogre, but it wasn't feasible enough long term. Thankfully, I did have an answer to this problem. Introducing Rillaboom. With his grassy terrain to override Miraidon's electric terrain, passive healing for Kyogre, and an arguably better toolkit than Indeedee, it was poised to help out this team in the best ways possible. An aggressive set with Terra Ground high horsepower is what I ended up running for the tournaments I participated in. Rounding out his set was Fake Huff for priority, and to stall out a Pokemon's turn, Grassy Glide for priority in the terrain, and Wood Hammer for general damage output. Once April rolled around, I knew I had to lock in to finish the season with the 200-point goal in mind, and with the recent announcement of the Regulation I rule set allowing the use of 2 restricted legendary Pokemon, I knew I didn't have much time left to finish the season strong before traversing the unknown. The first event I went into was in April, a Elite Cup at Tokdap Keep, where I would start the tournament with a loss to Regidrago Zacian, then call out 3 wins in a row against Miraidon, Eternatus, and Koraidon teams respectively, finishing at a 3-1 record. This is good at the top cut after 4 rounds to play, and soon enough, I was playing in the semifinal round against the Miraidon team with Cobalion. I put in my best efforts, but I fell in a close 3-game set to finish 4th place, earning me 32 points to put my total to 172. Now came arguably my most important tournament of the season, the April Global Challenge. And just like February, my team of 6 remained intact now that I knew what was the best way for me to go through the 3-day tournament with the best possible means of success. And I was successful. With a 21-9 record and a 1648 rating, I was able to secure another top 256 finish, eventually getting really close to the top 128 tier of points. After the BFL, I was awarded another 30 points, which put me at 202, ending my season goal. This would be where the story ends, but...
Nope, just going to eat the bullet punch, and it'll be just down to Koraidon. That'll probably be it. Koraidon does get a collision course off into the Kyogre. 14 HP remaining, very nearly taking it out. Water Spout will do very little now, yeah. As the victor of our gym challenge. Very excited with the victory there.
I ended up doing what I thought was impossible, winning tournaments, my first one in 5 years, which perfectly ended my season. Even though I knew the season for me was completed with everything I wanted to accomplish, I decided to go through with the final Grand Challenge tournament in May. However, my initial testing did not go as planned, as with the change of rules to allow 2 restricted Pokemon per team, Kyogre just sadly couldn't keep up anymore, even after I made top cut in the online Wide League tournament earlier. This metagame has become far too hostile for it to do well. Miraidon and Koraidon were some of the biggest defenders, as they are both naturally bulky and maintain the dragon typing that resists Water Spout, as well as how splashable they were in many restricted duos in the format. But also, Zamazenta remained popular, as well as the additional knowledge of many teams. Both of them carry Wide Guard, which stops Kyogre in his tracks by blocking Water Spout and Origin Pulse. So I turned to my good friend Mutation, who sent me their team with Terapagos and Zacian. We already know about Zacian, especially since it was recently nerfed in Generation 9 with its attack stat being cut down to 170 to 150 and Intrepisaur being once per battle. But Terapagos is a brand new legendary Pokemon from the Indigo Disc DLC, and it plays uniquely in this format. It starts small, then transforms into a Terrestrial form glowing its shell. The shell provides the ability to make any hit it takes at full HP to transform into a resisted hit, giving it time to set up Calm Mind to increase its power. Its true form, however, comes when it terastallizes, transforming into its stellar form and removing all weather and terrain effects immediately. It also transforms the signature Terra Starstorm attack from a single target 120 base normal type move into a spread based 120 stellar type move, hitting everything for neutral damage while doing super effective damage to any terastallized targets. It starts relatively weak, but gets stronger if left unchecked. The rest of the team was filled with defensive pieces like Grimmsnarl for screens and Incineroar for fake out support, and the team was rounded out with good offensive pieces like Choice Scarf for Super Rapid Strike and Raging Bolt. All in all, it was a very solid team to use. I enjoyed playing it. I streamed my whole entire Grand Challenge run on Twitch, and I ended up finishing in the top 256 trainers once again with a 16-5 record, including a win over Sableye VGC. If anybody's interested in a more dedicated video about this team, let me know in the comments below and leave a like too if you want to support. But that, truthfully, ended my season. So was I able to qualify for the 2025 Pokemon World Championships in Anaheim? No, not remotely close. But I was able to make the most of the 2025 season to the best of my abilities. And as the commentator for a majority of my time playing Pokemon in person, I am glad. To the people that have assisted me in my journey, thank you. There are plenty of things to go through. I may not be able to say everyone in this video, but I'll do my best. To the commentary team with William Franco, Arnie Wolf, Dennis Geisler, players like Evan Zimmer, Tyler Deasy, Brendan Moses, Thomas Park, and Brian Kim. Production from Troy and Power Gaming. Judges Miguel Campos and Terrence Seifert. I couldn't have achieved what I've done without any of you. For those that have qualified or obtained spectators tickets to the World Championships, I will be in attendance for their 3-day event, and I hope to see everyone there. I am Jesus Coronel, a SoCal-based commentator, and now Ace Trainer.